town meeting will come to order. Everybody will stand, face the flag. We'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adoption to the agenda, we need to add 15A, which is resolution of municipal accounting service and cybersecurity, and 15B, which is biotech technology.
I would make the motion to adopt the agenda with those additions.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that carries. Item 4, approval of February 24th, March 2nd minutes. I didn't see anything, and I'm looking to you.
I know you are. I didn't see anything either. It's in order.
I would entertain a motion to approve them.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as read.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it, motion. Public comment. Citizens may speak on items not listed on the printed agenda. Anyone here to speak? Anyone like to speak? Okay.
Everyone's here to speak during the hearings.
Moving right along. Proclamation for April 26th, Public Health Month, Janna Walker, Davidson County Health Department. If I can get it here, Janna, I got it.
Help me here.
You're welcome to my.
Yeah, come on up, Janna. We're glad to have you, and, you know, we do this every year.
Yeah.
And we're glad to do it, and I'll see if I can get through reading it. The town of Denton proclaimed Public Health Month, April 26th. Whereas Davis County Health Department has served the community for more than 100 years and provided immeasurable contributions to enhancing the quality of life of our residents. Whereas public health programs have evolved over the past century from a focus on sanitation and controlling the spread of infectious disease to now preventing the onset of chronic diseases. And whereas the significant increase in life expectancy is widely credited to improve the public health program. And whereas public health promotes improved lifestyle by providing services and supporting the policies of help young people stay well and help us older adults add a little better. And now, therefore be resolved, I, Scott S. Morris, Mayor of Town of Denton, do hereby proclaim the month of April 26th as Public Health Month, and encourages all citizens of Denton to take steps to protect and promote the health, well-being of their families and make healthy personal lifestyle choices in seeking regular preventative health care. Scott S. Morris, April 26, 2026.
I appreciate it so much.
If you'd like to say anything,
Yeah,
Jen.
well, I'd just like to thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, for your support in public health. Lillian normally comes and gets to do this session with you guys, but I'm glad I was able to fill in for her while she's on vacation this week. But we just appreciate your support and partnership and protecting the health and safety of the public.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have another proclamation declaring April 26th as National Volunteer Month for the town of Denton. Proclamation National Volunteer Month, April 1st to April 30th, 2026. Whereas volunteers are the heart and the strong, vibrant community, dedicating their time, talents, compassion, and improving their lives to others. And whereas the residents of the town of Denton generously give their time through civic organizations, faith-based organizations, schools, nonprofit organizations, community initiatives that strengthen our town and support neighbors in need. And whereas volunteerism promotes civic pride, builds meaningful connections among residents, and fosters a spirit of service that enriches the quality of life throughout our community and others. Whereas volunteers contribute countless hours supporting important efforts such as community events, youth programs, public safety initiatives, environmental stewardship, and assistance in those facing hardships. And whereas National Volunteer Month provides an opportunity to recognize the selfless and contributions of volunteers while inspiring others to become involved in service in their communities. Now therefore, I, Scott S. Morris, Mayor, on behalf of the town of Denton, do hereby proclaim April 26th as National Volunteer Month in the town of Denton, North Carolina, and encourages all residents and recognize the valuable service of volunteers and to consider contributing their time, talents, and strength of our community giving our appreciation specifically to our planning and zoning board, our parks and recs, and our volunteer firemen. Thank all the volunteers that's here. If you want to volunteer in the fire department, we'd love to have you. Public hearing. Public hearing resolution on, no, Paul, go to Paul, okay. Review renovations of project 71 North Main Street. Mr. Briggs.
Yes.
Please, sir. And your compadre.
Good to see everybody again.
Brandon, yeah.
Brandon Everhart, the other architect in the firm. He'll pass out 2 documents to you. One of them is a kind of a minutes or accounting of where we've been in the last couple of years, really. So I won't bother you to read, but you can go with this and see if we're still on track with our scope and so forth. The other, he has some drawings that we've prepared that is a result of the committees that have met a couple of times and bringing the plans up to date with a revised scope. And at this point, working with the $250,000 budget for as much as we can do. We'll call it phase 1 or the beginning. And these drawings represent the highlighted areas that we plan to work with. And the first sheet is just sort of an overview of the street and so forth. There is a site plan, is the second sheet that's got some notes, but this will just kind of put it in perspective to you. And generally speaking, on the site, we're doing a couple of things: removing some of the drive-through canopy, restriping some parking, making accessible curb cuts and entrances at several points on the building, and not changing the parking lot with paving. Probably will need sealing and striping if our funds will provide for that. We'll certainly stripe the new areas. So if you want to go to the second page, that's a little bit more in detail with some notes about what we are looking at doing. At the beginning, out front, now there's a curb across and there's parking coming to the entrance of the building from people coming from parking from other places. So we propose putting actually not cutting the curb, but meeting the curb with a rampway to get in the building, and have 2 of those parking spaces at the door designated as handicap. And the other rest of the street and so forth can be parking. And then on the side lot, to put another couple of spaces down in that parking lot. And since we will be having restrooms and an exit, so forth on the side, put a couple more. Now, it may appear that we've got too many handicap spaces. It'll be with my roundabout and all, there's not too many. Most of the time I have to walk half a block. So more people, fortunately, living longer and are able to be mobile if they've got a way to do it. So this being a public facility, I would say that these half a dozen spaces will greatly help accessibility to the building. Generally speaking, the main site work is removing that canopy down to 1 lane and then running a new sewer line to pick up the new restrooms, maybe some landscaping and so forth. We're looking, if our budget will permit, to do a couple of canopies, a front canopy and a side canopy to protect the doors. And we'll determine that during our development of the drawings. So if you flip over one more sheet, this is our demolition plan, and all the little dotted areas we would be removing, and the other will remain as is, and the floor plan will delineate that even further. We're cutting 3 doors into the side, 2 for individual restrooms and 1 is an exit. And then the front entrance basically remains the same. Clean it up, clean the windows, and maybe have a canopy and so forth. We'll see how we do it. We're doing the least amount to make sure that we can get in the building and use it just like here tonight for this meeting and the other town functions, so that it will be able to move. So we'll go back to questions if you need that, but the floor plan indicates the layout, and also there's toning, the first one up, sort of the front, that red toning area, that area would basically use it as it is. May need to paint it, clean the carpet, but generally speaking, as it is. And then the main area that's sort of a green tone, primary area of renovation, is the meeting room, the restrooms, both in the main part and the two that face Harrison Park, and then a chambers room, and the upper area where it will become a break room. Right now, that will simply be an empty space, maybe with tables and chairs, but we don't plan to build the cabinets and do all of that in there at this point. But in the demolition plan, we will need to take some of the existing partitions out there to accomplish the commissioner's room and the main meeting room. So that'll get done, the new partitions will be, and hopefully, if there's some budget Monday, we'll finish up the break rooms. So let me pause now. Some of you may have, this is the first time you've seen it, because we've been working with the committee, and see if you got any questions or comments. This meeting tonight is really an update for the work of us in the committee to see where we are with scope and so forth.
And Paul, you might tell them about the doors there.
See, where it says the doors open, these doors they're different trade names for them, but it is a folding glass system, and each door is a glass door, and with it closed, there would be two doors to go in and out, just a hinge door, and the rest of the wall would be glass, so that if you got a meeting like going on, someone comes in, you can see and they can see that it's a meeting. But then it also allows for those to be open, expand the seating, if you like, if you've got some type of issue that requires more space, you can more than double the meeting space by opening those doors. So I think it'll look nice, it'll give a good function. It keeps the room to a degree about the size of this room, which is adequate for most of your meetings, I think. So and we have, the platform will be like you see it similar here. It will have a ramp to have accessibility to the chambers, and also all of that will be on that particular level. The vaults are left in place where they are, and be used for records and other things. One of the things, the public toilets that we've got planned, a couple ways to handle that right now. I think the committee's thinking is that those locks would be on a timed lock, so that they would come unlocked at a certain time and be locked at a certain time. So, and of course, there'd be overrides just to keep them locked if you got a problem or whatnot. But those could be open during the day, particular weekends and so forth. People may be using Harrison Park. It gives restrooms adjacent to that. The little closet has 3 racks of stacking chairs and a cart of tables, and we could take the central meeting space of the building and probably seat 150 people at tables for some kind of function that you might have, a banquet, maybe during the celebration days here, different events that would need maybe tables either for bringing snacks or food or catering or crafts or arts. All kind of uses could be made a part of that space because we have tables and chairs available to do that. The main service area, the drive-by window, which is there, get a door functioning, and basically that is ready to go. And then where the cashiers and all were, that's going to be mainly an open area for desks, can be arranged several different ways with very little money to do that.
Mr. Briggs, so can you only access council chambers through the break room?
Yeah, that right now, that's what we have that, but that can be changed. We were kind of using, to have the background here rather than having a door to go straight in.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
That bake room will be at the same level, and the chambers will be at the same level. There will be that side door, which is really an access door, would have a step in it, which it does not now. It will be a step up. So we can handle that with a landing out front if that's a problem.
I think it looks good.
The main room in there will be sort of left, it's got a nice ceiling and floor, and it's we've stated in the narrative there, we could just about move in. But there are a few things that, is unique to, the work of the commissioners and councils. Our next, and you're not asking for a decision, but with this being our schematic, defining the scope, defining what we're trying to do, setting at least a target budget, then our next step would be, if this looks like, hey, if that's what we want to do, our next phase will be to call it design development. We take this idea and push it. We'll be in touch with engineers and so forth, and more feasibility, and can come back and say, here's what it's going to look like. And with that approval, we move into the construction drawings. So that will be the process, unless we need to change it.
Madam Chairman, you got anything?
No, just, everybody knows those are the outside bathrooms.
And I like the way, it's like everything's in there that we need. I mean, it's really, all the offices look like they're rather big. And you've got plenty of room for storage, and the meeting room looks good. And the way they're gonna be able to work down here, and people come in and pay the bill.
Brandon, do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Okay.
So I guess if y'all were good with the initial part, we would then find a motion to proceed.
I make a motion to proceed.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All the ayes, that much carried.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Tom. Thank you. What do you get, Paula? Did you get one of those? One of those?
That is my last thing. I will, you have a copy.
Fill that thing. All right, item nine, public hearing resolution R 2526-8, close the undeveloped roadway on Carroll Avenue, Parcel 00705400300300001, and on board. Requested by Mark and Stephanie Clark. Ms. Jenkins.
Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. We have received by resolution last month, you approved to do a road closure for this property. It is, I apologize, my phone keeps beeping, I don't know why, but it does divide just 3 parcels that are not, there's not any easements that we have to contend with the water or the sewer. We did actually close the alleyway last month as well, and this would just continue to allow the property to develop as much as possible through that area. There is no concerns for the police, fire, or public works, and it is a recommendation of the board that you do close this unopened roadway that runs from Anderson to Jones Street. And if you guys have any questions, I would like to answer those at this time.
Angel, on this, does each property owner get half, or is it all in one parcel? Or?
It's split in half.
Okay.
So,
All right, I'll declare the public hearing open. Anybody like to speak for or against? Comments, concerns? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Madam Attorney, you got anything to say?
No, this is good, I drafted it, so.
No questions.
So don't you love our little diagrams now, so they're real clear?
Yes.
We worked with Paul and Angel, we've got that fixed now, so. All right. Hard to be better.
And it will be up to the property owners to do a quick claim deed or to have.
No, the tax department actually goes on, once they have this, and they automatically assign it through the GIS, and this actually just divides the property in half, so this takes the place of that, and then the tax department updates the records.
Okay, very good. I would entertain a motion.
We close the public hearing.
All right.
I make the motion to approve the ordinance, to close the undeveloped street dividing parcels listed below.
I second it.
Any further discussion, any further debate? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it, motion carried. Number 10, public hearing 2026003 for consideration of rezoning request by EH&A Investments on partial 0704400630028 and 0704400630019 located West 3rd Street. Ms. Jenkins.
Thank you again. So we received a request from EH&A Investments, Mr. Wayne Schuler, his wife are here tonight, and also their developers and contractor. The two parcels are currently zoned R15, and the request is to rezone both parcels from R15 to R8. Public hearing has been posted in the Denton Orator on May 18th and March the 18th, and actually we should read March 25th. And the letters have been mailed to the property owners. The property was posted. Public Works Review just states that there is a sewer easement that does cross both properties, and it does run along the creek line through the property. Planning and Zoning Board did hold a public hearing on March the 23rd, and the request for the rezoning was denied by a vote of 7-0. There are no concerns. There is an unopened roadway through there that would be at the board's discretion as to how to handle that development or closure in the future. And it is staff recommendation that we do rezone this property from R15 to R8. And once you go into the public hearing, we'll hear from them.
I'll open the public hearing. Mr. Schuler, or Rodney, or whoever's wants to present.
Right.
Go.
Good evening. Good evening. Mayor, Commissioners, appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. My name is Joel Pierce. I'm speaking on behalf of EH&A Investments for Wayne. I'm the grading and utility contractor for the site, and I think you're all familiar with the development that Mr. Schuler did just probably 2 parcels north of that, which was on Fletcher Lane. So where we put 7 duplexes there, and I think you can all see what kind of work that Mr. Schuler does. But unlike on Fletcher Lane, this project's got a few more challenges. So a few of those challenges are the topography. Of course, if you walk down the unopened portion of 3rd Street there, you can see how the land it really drops off pretty significantly. So a lot of it's unbuildable. You take into account the topography along with the creek and the sewer easement. The most of the property that's developable is really to the west, maybe the northwest, and some of the property to the south on that lower parcel is developable on both sides of the creek. So that's really the main reason to try to rezone this to R8 from R15. It gives us a little bit more flexibility on the property that's actually usable. At the planning board, definitely we're cognizant of runoff or downstream residents. Did have our engineer take a look at some of the runoff, and we did not, we'll preface this with saying we didn't have a stormwater study done, but we did look at some of the runoff and some of the, what the impacts downstream are now and what they could be, and some of that's, and I don't want to say negligible, but it would be increased, obviously, because a lot of the impervious, structures like roofs and asphalt, right? But it would, and he, he was adamant that this is preliminary numbers. We hadn't really do a detailed study, but it was less than 5% of an impact of what it is now. So that really made us feel pretty good about what we're doing as far as, we're not going to be a detriment to the folks that are downstream, which is definitely important to us. And I don't think it would be that much more from R15 to R8. I think it really just gives us, it would definitely increase the number of units, but it's not going to increase them a great deal because there's just so many that we can put in on that property anyway. So I know that the city manager mentioned the unopened road. We would definitely leave that to your discretion as how you would either, if it's zoned R15 or R8, how to best, whether to close the road or whether to continue that street as a future city street when the development is underway.
How many you want to put in there?
Well, so I think that I haven't got a good number for R8. I'm gonna say somewhere realistically, I'm gonna say that we could probably put about, and I don't wanna underscore us, I don't wanna hit the mark low or too high, but I'm gonna say that realistically, we're probably gonna look at about 12 units or so. That's what we could probably get in there on R8. That's structures.
So some may be single family, some may be.
Some may be, yes, right. Yes, sir. Maybe we may could get more than that once we start looking at, because I think that what's gonna hem us up it would be road frontage, for R8 also. I don't think it decreases too much. The property size definitely is significant, more, 8,000 from 15, but the actual road frontage is not that big of a drop off.
Any questions for Joel?
Looked like 12 would be about all you could get.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, looked like,
But that's as it is on
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
Well, so I don't think we can't get that many on there zone R15. Just we can't. We got a pretty good idea of what we can do there, but you won't get 12 on it.
Because some of it's unbuildable. I'm
That's
assuming.
right. Yes, sir. It's unbuildable. We've looked at doing, anything to the west of that creek, is low lying, and the topography definitely works against you, especially coming down. If you walk straight down that, the unopened portion of 3rd Street there, it drops off significantly, like 20 feet. It's a significant drop off. So.
That's not gonna affect, where's that flooding, that part where it floods so bad in Clark Acres always?
Where the pond used to be.
Yeah, that area used to really be bad. Has that got better? I'm just wondering, I didn't know if
Yeah,
that got
that
better.
don't affect that, it'll affect
I didn't know if it,
down the creek bank maybe, but it won't affect over there in the middle.
And I think that and I would defer to the city manager, but I don't think even at R8, I don't think that this increases. I think we're still in low density development. I don't think this increases us to medium or high density at all, either way.
How many units do you anticipate if it's R15?
I think we can get 8.
Are these units gonna be, since it slopes, are they double story or?
Everything we've looked at so far is single story.
Single story?
Yeah. But now, if you get into the back part of the property, the land lays really well, so it's not that much of a slope. So it's definitely it lays really well on the western side of that creek.
Where it joins minor trails, I guess.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Okay, we may have some more questions, Joel.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else for or against? Sharon?
Yes, please. You all have a copy of the map.
State your name and address. State your name and address.
Oh, Sharon Finnick, 316 West 2nd Street. I have the large piece of land that has a creek running through it. My concern with the development has to do with drainage and that creek. I have spent over $10,000 just to clean that creek that goes through my land because it was causing flooding in Clark Acres, the next group over. It isn't anymore, the water runs cleanly, and I even have a video of that. But my concern would be that if this property, if there's no drainage, isn't maintained, it could, and gets blocked, in effect, it could flood myself, Clark Acres, wherever. That's my, I'm not against building on it, I'm just against no drainage plan and making sure that it covers this area, because it does flood. So,
Yeah, that's another area we had problem with too. Yep.
yeah, and one of the things, you know, cleared the land, cleaned that creek, and there's a second creek that actually runs on the right side of my property and then meets into that creek. And that drains from 1st Street, 2nd Street down on School Street, that comes straight down into that creek and then merges over to the bigger creek. So it's not just like one thing coming in, there are branches off of it all over the place, so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else against? State your name and address, please.
Mike Williams, 194 West 3rd Street. Not against, not for, just still need more questions. I haven't seen a site plan or anything yet. What's the buffer gonna be between this development and the existing houses there now? What's the setback gonna be? Some of the stuff that we've seen from the 2 duplexes that were built just right behind our property, I mean, it's kind of junky looking, and we're trying to don't want that. And we don't want the noise. If you put 15 houses in, you're gonna have, pretty much you're gonna have 2 drivers in each house, so that's 30 more cars. The road can't take that. And then you're gonna be taking part of people's property to make a wider road for that. So those are my concerns, and I'd like to have some vision of what's going to look like, where it's going to be at, and how it's going to be fixed.
Thank you. Anyone else against?
Evening, Commissioners and Mayor. Jones Laughlin, 80 Farmbrook Drive. My house is in Clark's Acres, down creek, from where our previous speaker talked about, less than 100 feet from the edge of the creek, that handles the stormwater runoff that will come from this parcel of land. We moved back, or I moved back, my wife's not from here, in 2003, started having flooding in our backyard, this area you see. We were grateful when DOT put new culverts in that handled 3 times the amount of water that the current culvert did under Old Camp Road. We thought that would solve our problem. Your pictures from 2024 show that it does not. We have seen increasing runoff and stormwater increases in our backyard just because of development in the area. Again, I'm not against growth, but this is what we face, as well as our neighbors and folks in Greenbrier also have had flooding problems as well. I don't have pictures from the 2 more recent instances. This is the last time I'd taken pictures, so I apologize for not having more recent pictures. My concern is that any more development upstream is going to add to the runoff that we're getting unless there are some stormwater control measures put into place. So that's different than stormwater study and a stormwater plan. Stormwater controls are you keep the water on site, whether that's through ponds or whether it's through rain gardens, but you retain that water instead of allowing it to come down a creek and cause the problems that we're already having. I know that there's going to be an erosion control plan done because of the size of this parcel. The focus of the erosion control plan is to mitigate the sediment that's leaving the site. The focus of that plan is not to look at ways to minimize the amount of water, the stormwater runoff that comes from the site. The soils that are around this creek, I mean, it's just nature. They're shallow soils, according to soil scientists, and the only way this water gets away is to either run off or evaporate. It does not penetrate into the soils. So I'm not in favor of rezoning this from R15 to R8 because it's already, even when this land gets developed, it's going to increase water for us. And I appreciate the numbers that we were given in talking with a retired soil scientist. When you convert this property that's a lot of woods and those things, you're looking at a minimum of probably 20% increase in runoff. Now again, that's spitballing. That's not a sharp number or those kind of things, but it is just in talking with those who deal with this kinds of things. So I would request that you not rezone it, and let's address some of the larger issues we have before you seek to allow that much more building taking place on the property. And I thank you for your time.
Jones,
Yes.
is that a septic? Is that?
That's the sewer line from, yeah. Yeah, that's
Dispersion there a little bit.
yeah, it is just a little bit. I was thinking about photoshopping that out, but I thought, no, I'll leave it, you know.
On another note, we're working on that.
I know, and it has gotten better. That has gotten better, Scotty. It really has over the years.
I'm with Troy, we're working on it. Joel, do you want to address some of the things you brought up?
Sure. So I'll take, let me start with I think we talked about traffic. You know, obviously I haven't done a traffic study on it. I do know that just in some of the things that, you know, when I look at a piece of land like this, where we're gonna, you know, add structures and houses and you know, there is, the good thing about 3rd Street right there is that there are two ways out, and it's not very far from Highway 47. So traffic does have the ability to move pretty quickly right there and get somewhere else. It has, and there's two ways to go there on 3rd Street. So I do think that's a plus. I think that some of the ladies concerned about debris is definitely relative. I think that this will, you know, normally, let's say you have an undeveloped piece of land like it is now. It definitely has the ability to have limbs and leaves and anything else that you can think of that gets into the stream and heads to your property, right, and gets crossed up and it restricts flow. Normally, in my experience, when you have property that's maintained, that's people living there, when you have someone that you know that owns it and manages it, that gets better, right? You don't have the limbs, you don't have the you know, the debris that gets into the creek as much. So I think that's a positive. I saw the photos. I can't really speak to what, you know, I don't know. I've got the numbers that from our engineer as far as the water runoff, you know, what the impacts will be. I think he's pretty well versed in it. I do agree with the gentleman about, you know, if you was gonna, you know, if this was a high density development, right, even maybe medium density, and I think there's some thresholds you have to meet before you get there. The ones that I have, I've installed these stormwater devices, right? I've installed a couple of them in Thomasville, and one of them was a high density subdivision. Same type of issue, right? So you want to store the water and release it slowly back into the creek, right? So over time, so it has a chance to build up, right? Sit, and then gradually disperse. Most of those are either in a high density area, or they're in some kind of like a watershed, right? Some kind of protected watershed where you have to, you know, slowly disperse the water or get any kind of, you know, greases, oils, that type of thing that may be on the parking lot out of it. I don't think this meets that. I have discussed these types of things with the engineer. I think this, even because of the topography, because of the creek, I think there are some challenges to even doing that here. I don't really think I don't know that, how much that would help us and still be economically feasible in this case. So I think I covered.
Well, I've seen it look like this many times, so I know that's already a bad area in there.
Yeah, part, it doesn't start on this property, though.
Yeah. But I'm just
Way
saying.
up Thermo.
Yeah.
Past Thermo.
The property, at, where my business is, it used to be, there used to be woods behind there. And over the years, it has all been clear cut and it's now open. And that's when we had our flood of 2015, when we had 16 inches of water in our store. And, if all these trees are gone, then the water is not gonna slow down. And that is a concern of mine.
And we've seen that up on North Main.
Yes.
The trees gone.
Carter, you wanna say something? You appear to.
Yeah. Look, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Madam Attorney, and we'd like to start from the planning side. We're gonna start trying to attend some of your meetings just to give context and clarity on, especially when we deny something. But we want to carry over from our last meeting. We fully appreciate and respect the aesthetics that the Shores have always brought to the town. I would defer to the town manager to be stood corrected. Some of the questions that were asked, technically we cannot ask of the person presenting. So we based our decision off of what is current, knowing the detriments to the floodplain that we have. And anytime when we've seen other past subdivisions come in, when you increase to or decrease down to R8, increasing the size, what that brought to the town. So anytime you have a neighboring plot that is R15, R8, we felt to err on the side of caution and honor the R15 that was there. Bringing in a couple of comments from the engineer, R15 to R8 did not, I believe he said he probably would not increase that much, but also we're basing on people that move in to maintain those properties. Those are things that are just unknown. So knowing that the risk is there with the floodplain, knowing that you have an R15 right at the neighboring, again, we're fully supportive and appreciative of the Shores wanting to develop. We hope it can still be at R15, but that was the basis of our decision to deny from R15 to R8. So just wanted to give context, and again, this is not a showing up and speaking, it is not a personal outlook into the application, but we'll start doing this more to bring the two boards together, to answer any questions, concerns that might have had. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a point of clarification that kind of goes along with what he was saying is I think sometimes people at the rezoning level are curious as to why we haven't seen a site plan and why we haven't gotten this information. What are the setbacks and what is the buffer? Well, setbacks and buffers are contained in the subdivision plan, and that site plan is not going to come until later because they wouldn't spend the money to prepare a site plan not knowing what their zoning is, because that just doesn't, it's not financially feasible to require somebody to do that. And you're not basing your zoning decision on what they're going to build. You're basing your zoning decision on whether or not this proposed zoning is consistent with your overall comprehensive plan. And if your overall comprehensive plan takes this into consideration and this is in line with it, then your zoning decision needs to be based on that. Now, you can consider impacts analysis of public infrastructure, roads, schools, utilities, such as Mr. Pierce brought up the fact that there are, two ways in and over West 3rd and North Bingham out to 47 and North Jones. He was discussing that because there's concerns about traffic. But also, when you get to the subdivision site plan, that's where any required water and flood issues have to be met and dealt with at that point in time. So everyone needs to understand what you guys are looking at here tonight is this consistent with your comprehensive plan that you've put in place? And that's what you guys are deciding. Some of the other stuff will come later.
Because you have to go through subdivision requirements later.
Correct.
And just like Ann said about clearing the trees and all. I mean, he can do that now and not build nothing.
Correct. Anybody can timber the land and it can just be bought.
Okay. Anybody else for or against? I'll close the public hearing. Any comments from the board?
Am I correct that on the north and south, those are R8 and the east and west are R15?
Yes. I don't know about east and west, I know.
The ones on the sides, are they R15? The ones on top and bottom, are they
Yeah.
R8? Okay.
I make a motion to leave it at what it is right now, currently zoned for R15.
I second that.
Further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay, carries 5-0. Thank you guys, all of you. All the forwards, all the against. Public hearing on that. Consideration rezoning Markham properties on parcel 070500530013A, located West Salisbury Street. Miss Jenkins.
Thank you. The request that we have before you tonight is from Markham Properties. Mr. Kim Markham is present and will answer any questions you guys may have. The property is currently zoned R8. He's requesting it to be rezoned to neighborhood business. It is located with properties to the east as R8 and across the street, but then properties to the west as R8, and then to the east as neighborhood business, which would be the block that the town hall is currently on, all the way to Peacock Avenue is considered neighborhood business. We did advertise this in the Denton Orator on March 18th and March 25th. Letters were mailed to the property owners and the property has been posted. Planning and Zoning Board met on March the 23rd, 2026, and they did approve a rezoning from R8 to neighborhood business. In reviewing this property, there is no easements to take into consideration for water or sewer, and no restrictions that would come from the fire or the police department. There are 2 accesses to this property as well. And any questions that you may have, we'll get to in the public hearing.
I'll declare the public hearing open. Kim here? Okay. You wanna come up and tell us a little bit about what you wanna do, Kim?
I wasn't prepared to do this, but I will. Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, I appreciate you letting me talk to you. My name's Kim Markham, and I reside at 4963 Valley Farm Road, Denton. You gonna ask a good question?
No,
Well, we just feel like Gay and I are invested in the old Denton record, getting ready to put a lot of funds into that. And then that's zoned this, correct? Okay, Angel, then we just feel like this property, you know, things that we're doing there that we might be able to move over here if it's parking or whatever, is what we're thinking. Don't have any detailed plans for anything yet, just kind of looking at the future. I think that's the best fit for it.
Any questions, Kim? Thank you, Kim.
All right.
Anyone else for or against? Tick, tick, tick. Hearing none, seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Any questions from the board? Comments or concerns?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Let's hear what it is first.
Sorry. See, move right along.
That was a blanket. I make a motion to approve rezoning from R8 to neighborhood business. for parcel number 07050005300138, located at West Salisbury Street.
Second.
Further debate? Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. And the ayes have it. Carries 5-0. Go to work there, Kim. Uniform consideration that we tabled March 2nd meeting, Centos, Harley Davidson. I'm sure you get a lot of that.
Every day, sir. Thank you guys very much. My name's Harley Davidson. I'm representing Centos Corporation today. What Paul is handing out is folders that I put together for you guys. Has some stuff that I'm going to run through with you guys about the uniquenesses of Centos, as well as where a uniform program, and then maybe even further on in the future, a facility service program of some shape or form could benefit the town of Denton and its employees. So where I want to start today is I want to brief you guys on what a uniform program could look like for you. So what a uniform program is number one, very flexible based on your needs. But I'm going to talk about two different versions of it. First version is a full rental program. So what that looks like is with everyone working 5 days a week, I'm going to work off that structure. Okay. So everyone working 5 days a week on a full rental program, they're each going to get 11 brand new shirts, 11 brand new pairs of pants, and we are going to do the laundry and maintain those garments for those individuals. So what it looks like is on the same day every single week, Adrian De La Rosa is actually going to be your service rep down here and delivery driver. Adrian's going to come pick up those uniforms on the same day every single week. So you're going to drop off 5 dirty ones. Adrian's going to drop off 5 clean ones, and that 11th pair, that 6th pair during the week, is for the day of drop-off delivery, so no one's left hanging with a dirty set of uniforms. So that is a rental program. We prefer that because we get to maintain the garments for you, and along the way, we're inspecting them and proactively repairing and replacing them for every individual. Because, face it, they get dirty and they get worn and torn. So the replacement of the garments is part of the program. It doesn't incur any extra added cost onto the town or onto the employees. And we have a 98.2% success rate at our facility up in Greensboro off of Federal Drive of catching garments without being told. Part of that has to do with human eye, but also the large part of it has to do with 2 machines that scan every single garment individually before it makes it back out to the individual that's wearing the garment. So I want to pause there. Does anybody have any questions about how a uniform program works? Nope. Awesome. The second version of that is what we call a lease, and all that is, where that differs is we don't do the laundry for you guys. We lower the inventory levels, so we suggest 6 shirts and 6 pants for a full week of work. We're not doing the laundry, so there's no need for 11. It is that basic. You have some cost savings on that plan just because of the lower inventory levels. That's the only difference in cost savings for you guys in the town. Any questions there? Awesome. I want to make a note on the left-hand side pockets for you guys. I put some information in there for our Omnia partnership and state of North Carolina contract that Centos holds. So what this does for you guys is it gives you discounted pricing. It also puts you into a larger purchasing group. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Omnia Partners. It's a group purchasing organization, but we have worked very hard to deliver you guys the best possible pricing with the best possible value and service in there as well too. So those are part of some of the literature I showed you. On the very back side of that left-hand pocket, there are 2 forms. Mr. Mayor, you have your hand right on top of one right now. So that is our true count, and this is where I get into the uniqueness of Centos versus some of our other competitors and those doing uniforms in our space as well too. So we have a patented true count system for you guys. So every single garment, I brought today some samples. So every single garment has a barcode on it. All right. This barcode gets scanned before it leaves property here. So whether it's this facility or another facility, we're picking it up in Public Works, it gets scanned individually. How this helps you as a town is it mitigates loss. So when things go missing, now all of a sudden one of your employees doesn't have a uniform or they're short. And what do they wear? They're probably gonna wear something dirty, and it's not good for the employee, it's not a good look for the town, and then it can bubble up. So we mitigate that by scanning every single garment before it leaves property, and then it's scanned 7 more times in our facility throughout the process of laundry, rehanging, and then making it back out on the truck. On the back side of that true count paper right there, I included a stapled document, different document. Paula has it in her hand right now. Those are 2 reports that come with the invoice every single week, and that shows what was picked up today. It also shows the service summary report as what was picked up last week and what was dropped off today. So if there's any discrepancy in volume amounts, it is clearly noted why. It could be garment replacement, it could be a garment repair, but it is clearly stated why, and your invoice will show it as well too, because Adrian, your delivery driver, he's employed to run his route and run his stops like his own business. He has power to make stops for you guys, he has power to make pricing adjustments for you guys when it comes to inventory levels. But he has the same power to pretty much do everything that I can, as well as our service managers and as well as our GM on the spot. So he's there for you, same as me, same as our service manager and key account managers that manage it. So I want to show you some garments real quick, and these are samples that I just priced out for Paula beforehand. So this is our Cintas Comfort Flex Pro shirt. Do you guys want to touch and feel these at all? Okay. So this is our Cintas Comfort Flex Pro shirt. This shirt comes with ventilation throughout the entire shirt because it gets hot here in North Carolina, very hot. Comes in, that's charcoal gray. It comes in a light gray. Paula asked for darker colors because they show dirt less. Also comes in black, it comes in navy blue, comes in a blue color shirt that you're wearing, sir. So you have an abundance of colors to choose from for that shirt. It also comes with visibility striping. So this is second sample I brought for you guys. So this is a Carhartt. This is Carhartt Rugged Flex Pro shirt. That shirt, I liken it to your PFG fishing style shirt with the Carhartt name and brand on it. But that shirt I also have in plain gray, I have it in navy, I have it in a denim blue, and I have it in khaki color as well too. So every single shirt that has buttons and a collar on it gets the town of Denton on the left chest, and it gets name on the right chest.
Can you get the visibility striping on anything or just the Carhartt?
You can get the visibility striping on anything. I also have high visibility options, which is the bright yellow shirt with the 1 and 2 belly stripes. So your ANSI Class 2 and ANSI Class 3 shirts as well. When it comes to pant program is pretty valuable. So I have pants and shorts. So first pant, see if I have a smaller pair. I don't have a smaller pair to pass around, so it's going to be a long leg. First pant is going to be our Comfort Flex Pro pant. Perk to this one is at about 2.5 inches worth of travel. It's comfortable. The main reason that people don't wear uniforms in the industry is because it's uncomfortable and they just don't like them. So that pant, nerdy. We partnered with Lululemon behind the scenes to have Lululemon design something that's comfortable, but also Carhartt, Ariat, and Red Cap to make sure that it's durable as well. We have that same pant, but in cargo shorts. And
Michael's not here.
huh?
Michael's not here, try the cargo shop.
Sir, I don't think, I don't know who Michael is, but that's the waist we're looking at. I can't fit in that one, and I don't know many people that can, unless they're a kid. Perks cargo pants it has the same waistband as well too. That pant comes in black, khaki, charcoal, and black, khaki, charcoal, and navy. Secondary to that pant, we also have a Carhartt pant. So this Carhartt pant is our Carhartt ripstop pant. Perk to this pant is that fabric in there is actually, thank you very much, is actually a ripstop fabric. So what that ripstop fabric does is it localizes the rip and tear. So that you can go about the rest of your day and not have to worry about changing your pant and having it tear all the way down the side or open up on your knee. That pant is navy, but it also comes in charcoal as well too. So color combos to match for you guys. I know we're focusing on dark probably because of wear and tear and dirt and mess. But we have plenty of options for you guys that I outlined in the right-hand side of 1A and 1B, and also 2A and 2B. It's also mix and match. If you want to do just shirts, you can do just shirts. If you want to do just pants, you can do just pants. Each individual gets a choice of how many short sleeve and how many long sleeve they want. And if an individual wants 6 pants but 5 shorts, we can do that as well too. So.
2 questions, one legal, one non.
Yes, ma'am.
Legal, does this contract or statewide term contract have an auto renewal provision in it?
It does not have an auto renewal provision in it. None of our contracts and agreements do.
They used to.
Very much. Yes,
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
And I didn't like that, so
Yes.
I wanna make sure it's not there.
Yes.
The other thing, does somebody come out and measure the gentleman or anyone that's, to make sure these actually are an appropriate fit, and if they need to be tailored, is that an option?
Great question, and yes.
Okay.
So measuring is on me. So I come out here, I have every single pant that you guys would want and wear, that exact pant. They try on that exact pant. And waist, inseam, length is all measured. Shirt, same thing. Shirt size is properly measured. Cut twice, or measured. Measured twice, cut once. Helps our costs as well too, yeah. Yes.
Do you offer jackets for the wintertime?
Yes, sir, we do. So jackets are part of a rental and lease program as well too. If you want to rent them, I suggest 2. That way we just swap 1 for 1. They get a little bit less wear and tear. Typically those range from $1 to $1.25 a jacket, depending on the jacket that you guys want per unit. Talking about.
Is this pricing reflected? Is this the statewide pricing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. This pricing reflects the state contract.
Okay.
Yes.
Questions? Angel?
No, I think they're very good. I will ask, have you met with the employees? Was there one particular style that they liked over the others?
They favored the Cintas Comfort Flex Pro shirt. So the first shirt I showed you, and then they preferred, honestly, pant was all over the place, but they also preferred the Cintas pant as well too. Majority of it was anti-Carhartt, if we're being honest. But they preferred the Cintas.
In saying that, can they determine, I want this type of pant, if we all went with the same type of shirt, can they choose the type of pant that they would want? And not everyone have to have the same type?
As long as you guys allow it, yes. Yep. So I could put every single individual in something different, as long as you guys allow it. Now, once our guidelines are set, we like to keep those guidelines. Helps cost on your side and helps cost on our side as well too.
And what about long sleeve? I know we're looking at short sleeve because it's summertime.
Yes. So every single one of our shirts, I brought short sleeve today because they're lighter and they're easier to pack and move. But every single one of our shirts is long sleeve and short sleeve, and it's the same shirt. Each individual can choose out of the 11 if they want 5 and 6, if they want 3 and 8. They can choose any combo if they want all short or all long. Well, too. Yes.
Okay. Any more questions?
They look nice.
Thank
We
you.
tried.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much. Did you have another question, Mayor?
Yes, thank you. Ryan, do you want to say anything?
Sure.
Okay. So Ryan is one of our Public Works, employees, and he did have a chance to look at the uniforms earlier. So if you wanted to-
You want the other gentleman to go
Yeah,
first?
that'd be fine, yes.
No problem.
Thank you.
Troy, did you look at him?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bob, if you want to come on up and. I apologize, y'all, my camera's dying, cord's not working.
Well, I'm Bob Ramel with UniFirst, and I've been in the industry over 30 years. I was a route driver for probably 20, installer. Now I'm in sales, so too old to jump in and out of the truck. So, but I was talking to everything. I make a good presentation. Everything that Harley said, we pretty much do. You know, we have a rental program, which is 11 and 11 and 2 jackets. And we have a lease program also, as far as the employees responsible for the garments, but you still get repair and replace. So, talking to, was it Ryan? They were really interested in the dry fit. That's pretty much what corporations are going to now. But we have several options. We have like a standard option, which is just a regular cargo soft twill, and then just a standard soft twill with your logo on it. And we have a check mark too shirt, which is real popular. That's the good option, and then we have the red cap, which is a flex.
These are your after Easter pants.
Yes. And then this airflow, which you can pretty much see that you can see through it. This is where cotton shows moisture, this doesn't. This is what.
Bob, can I ask you a question while you're doing that?
Yes.
With the high-vis shirts, you know, of course, they're gonna show the dirt as they work, but how do they clean? Because we've had the high-vis that Ryan has on this evening.
Right.
And they hold
Well, you
dirt,
have,
oils, and grease.
our programs have a maintenance where if it gets soiled extremely, then we'll replace the garment. But I would recommend the darker colors. This is our Briggs style.
Angel, have you felt the dry fit?
I have not.
Cause it feels different than a regular t-shirt.
Actually have purchased some of these, for our guys. I'm not sure if every one of them got them, but, I really haven't seen.
No, I have an orange one like that.
How's it
I
feel?
would say,
It's good.
I mean, I have these because we fish and they're very comfortable and they keep you cool. But, I was just curious as to whether or not, you know, from a day of work, does that come out? Like, we've been in a sewer pump station today.
Yeah.
Does that come out when, which.
It's a lighter color, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna get
I like
better.
the high vis part of it.
But we offer it in different, colors like gray, you know, as far as the safety,
Yeah,
that's a good
That's,
option.
yeah, definitely.
But we have gray, too, all different colors.
Okay, but I like that just because of the high vis.
Right. Any questions?
And like those t-shirts, you can get their name there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And are they replaced just like the other shirts are?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And when you spoke with the guys, was there one recommendation over the other?
Well, they really like the pant that, and then this shirt, and then, hoodies. We do a high-vis hoodie too, so, any questions?
Where's your pricing?
I actually had, printed off, so I'd sent this to Mr. Story.
And he never, I'm sorry.
No, he replied back,
Okay.
so if I could remember his first name, I'm sorry. Brandon. So there's a UniFirst, and then there's a red cap pricing.
Yeah,
On the opposite
the red
side.
cap has been around since the 1920s, so they're.
Any questions for Bob? Sorry. Hearing none, seeing none, Bob and Harley will take everything into consideration, and
Okay, thank you for your
we're gonna
time.
make a decision.
Okay,
I mean, not right this minute, but we're gonna make one.
okay.
Mayor Morris, would you want to hear from Ryan, after reviewing from an employee standpoint?
Sure.
No, did you have a preference over any of the
We
shirts?
like one shirt from each, of the gentlemen. The first one they presented you, on each side. We didn't have really any preference for the pants whatsoever. I've been here a year and a half now, and I've purchased 2 pairs of pants since I've been here, and they still look brand new. There's no tears. The belt loops are still great. And I can spray them off the water hose and just dust them off. And
Bring
I-
those.
these are true work.
And I provided you pricing.
Yeah, they
I was
offer,
laying it in your spot when you got here.
they offer pants, shorts, overalls, and stuff like that. So as far as pants goes, I don't think we would prefer not to have any pants from the services. But the 2 shirts that they recommended, and really jackets, as far as me, I do most of the grunt work. As far as jackets, I wouldn't prefer a jacket on a cold day. I'm wearing a hoodie because if I'm going to have to take my jacket off to put my hands underwater. But as with a hoodie, I can just roll my sleeves up. I'm still somewhat warm, and I'm wearing my bibs anyway. So as far as a jacket goes, I wouldn't. Maybe Mike or Brandon would prefer a jacket, but I'm getting wet, so.
And we can do that on an individual basis, that's fine.
Yeah,
If you want a jacket, if you want a hoodie, that's fine.
Right.
If somebody else wants a jacket, that's fine.
Right.
I think both companies would do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do you know
Thank you.
which one of these yours are?
Mine is the tier 2, so they have a little bit of a warmth layer to them. I think they offer 4 different layers, and they just came out with a summer pair. I don't know if you bought those yet or not. They're breathable. They're for the summertime. They just came out with them like 2 weeks ago. We got emails for them, but they also,
The fourth, I saw, I think there were 3 different
yeah.
listed.
That's
on
what
the
you use,
website.
Troy?
Yes, sir, I do. I've got the level 2 and it's plenty warm.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine being to go into the tier 3, not around here.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, we'll take it all in advisement and come up with a plan.
So with the true work, it'd be $99 per pair.
They are expensive, but I mean, it sounds like they're lasting. And I pulled that on the recommendation of the board, being it's mentioned
on with this right now? Okay. Alright, approval of resolution R 252609 and R 252610 for division of water infrastructure asset inventory assessment funding.
This is you probably looked through this and thought that this was a duplicate of a prior approval. It basically is. We received the funding letter from the state. When Witten filed for our AIA study, they provided the scope of work to the state. They came back and asked them to do some updates to the scope of work. In the process, we had already gone through and approved our resolutions. So in order for us to be in line with the timing that we received the funding letter, which was last week, they have asked that, the state has asked that we go back and reapprove our resolutions with a current date on them. So you have resolution R 2526-9 and -10, and this is for your AIA study for wastewater treatment plant, the water treatment plant infrastructure. Are there any questions you guys have?
Madam Attorney, do we do these in separate motions?
I'll prefer.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for R 25-2609 wastewater treatment project.
I would make that motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have motion carried. I entertain a motion on R 2526-10 water treatment system project.
I'll make that motion as well.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the ayes have motion carried.
I noticed some of these timelines are in 27. This is not part of the ARPA funds, right?
No,
Okay.
it's
Thank you.
two separate, projects.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Approved quote on Charlie's Concrete LLC sidewalks, gutter, curb and gutter.
I was hoping that Mr. Charlie would be here tonight, but he was not able to attend. And, Michael Hyde has left for schooling. He's gonna be in Raleigh, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so he will not be able to answer any questions that we have on this. As you guys know, you did approve for Public Works to do, some sidewalk replacement. And in looking at the areas through town that do need replacing, we have reached out to DOT regarding, the curb and guttering that is, present in the areas that we're looking at replacing. And it is basically our responsibility to replace the curb. And that was through, statements through NCDOT. We do have to go into, an agreement with them to be able to do this. However, the areas that are concerned are the same areas, they're just getting worse, especially since the snow and ice this past January. Some of the curbing has busted away even worse. The main area here, right in front of Denton, the Davidson dental office, which is next door. And then also over on the North Main Street area where there's not really curbing, but it's the old driveway for the, gas station that was there previous to it being a park. I tried to give you photos, an overview of the areas that we're looking at. The first section, again, is here in front of the dentist office, and then the photos show some of the, how the sidewalk is just broken away. I'm not sure if that's just from, the construction of the sidewalk itself, the material that was used during that process, is, failing. The other area is West Salisbury from Railroad Street and I listed as Ford's Antique Building. I'm not sure if that tells you guys where it is, but the old, Energy United building that's in the office complex. So stopping around about there, you can tell there's a definite area where the breaking and cracking stops. Maybe in future development, we may look at replacing the area from there to, the driveway of the post office, but it's not in dire need as this is. The area in front of Pickett's and Boutique Bargains, there's that large step up, and, Mr. Charlie, in meeting with him out there, his plan would be there would still be a type of a step. He's gonna replace the curbing, but he does not want, he would do a face out so that there is not a step up into the building. Because that's what we don't want to do, is create something that, would cause people not to be able to access the buildings who are in wheelchairs or in walkers. The next section that you have photos of is North Main Street from East Salisbury to the second sidewalk entrance, which is at our park. And like I said earlier, there are two old entrances that went into the gas station. It will be removing those entrances and actually establishing a curb and then replacing the sidewalk. There's been several replacements there over the years, but a lot of busted up areas, and especially after snow plow, it took out part of the drive that was there is now exposed gap in the concrete and the asphalt. The second area would be from on West Salisbury, well, starting at East Salisbury, excuse me, East Salisbury, running to what is now the bread box. So that would replace all of the sidewalk and curbing there as well. And then as you get closer to that end where the bread box is, it does have a slight slope, but again, they would feather that in so that there's no issues with people being able to get into the actual business itself. The next area would be South Main Street. It's the area in front of Lanier's and also the adjacent building, replacing it from Lanier's driveway to the end of the building. I think there's a drive there as well. This would potentially be done in two separate sections, and looking at working on maybe Tuesday evening through Wednesday, being that Lanier's is closed on Wednesday, and we would also coordinate that with the other business owner so that they're not interrupted. I don't think they have the traffic like Lanier's does. This would, quote, is for them to do the framing and pour the sidewalk and finish. But Public Works would do the removal of the sidewalks, and we would dispose of the old sidewalk.
And this figure covers all of this.
Yes, covers all the areas that we've provided. And
I believe Michael said he tried to get other quotes, but nobody wouldn't.
we have tried for a long time, to get things. We've had several people come out, but just no response. I'm not sure if it was more of a job than what they really wanted to take on, but.
Where's this person? I didn't think I saw
You know,
him.
his name, his address is not on here. I'm not
Just
sure.
curious if.
I am not sure, but I will find out and let you know.
Do we know if he's done any work anywhere?
He has done other municipalities. When we met with him, he provided this verbal list, but I do not have that in front of me, so I'll be glad to do that and get examples of that. I apologize for not having that for tonight's meeting.
It says it's out of Archdale.
Did you see that? Okay.
Oh, she's looking at it.
Okay.
I did hear Denton working in Carnival, but I didn't know we
And it
seen
may
who,
be,
do you work for the city or who or what?
right, and that's probably where Michael met this gentleman, because if I'm remembering correctly, he's done the work for Archdale City as well, so she's mentioned that's where he's from.
Well, if his work looks good, the pricing is very good.
It shows his work on his website.
That's what?
Has his work on the website, with all different kinds of things. Yeah.
Okay, any questions you guys have?
What would the plan be with the town? They would go ahead and do a big portion before Charlie comes in?
The only thing that we
It's a
would
lot
do-
faster to put it down than take it up, I'm
So
sure.
the only thing he asked that we be responsible for is actually the removal of the concrete itself, the old concrete. So we would remove and dispose, and then he would come in and frame up and pour. So it's not only framing the sidewalk, but also the replacement of the curbing.
The way the concrete looks, it don't look like it take long to yank it
Yeah,
up.
take a hammer to beat it up.
Take longer than you think.
Yeah.
The LLC was formed a year ago. One of our Cloverdale Archdale is the only company official that's listed, a Mr. Carlos A. Galan Rodriguez. So it's been in business a year. Curious as to what sort of insurance they have.
We did tell him that they will have to provide that, and the town has to be listed. So they'll provide a certificate of insurance, and we're listed as an insured on that. So if anything were to happen during the process of the job, it's covered.
Yeah.
Does he have any kind of warranty?
You know, that I don't know, Commissioner Dean. It's probably information that Michael has, and I apologize that, this came to us as he was not gonna be here this evening. And we can definitely, bring this information back to you. I did email him and ask him if he could give us like a estimated time frame that he could have the job completed because of our, Antiques Festival that will, basically the last week in June through the first week in July. We don't want any construction going on during that period of time. I had not received his response back on the time frame. Do you want to, I mean, you could definitely, table this, you could approve it
Can we
pending,
approve it based on?
responses, and then I can get those to you.
Insurance references and Misty say Grace said the contract.
That way we wouldn't have to wait until.
Right.
I mean, I would make that
May.
motion.
Okay.
I would make that motion.
I second.
And so this is pending, insurance,
Contract approval,
okay,
references.
References.
Yeah, from other
And
municipalities.
if he offers any kind of warranty.
okay.
Further discussion, further debate? All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, motion. And the quicker he gets that to us, the quicker he can go to work.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, item 15, approve interlocal agreement with Davidson County Tax Collection.
This is the agreement that we have received from Davidson County. As you guys know, County Manager Casey Smith was with us in January, which seems like a long time ago now. But, they are making some changes as to how, the process for ad valorem taxes will actually be charged to each municipality. It does outline in this agreement how everything takes place. The one concern and the one different, aspect for the town of Denton is that we do have the satellite tax collection site, and they have made provisions for that to continue for 1 year, ending June the 30th, 2027. I did go back, to Mr. Smith and the county attorney and ask for clarification on the requirements for, having someone appointed as a deputy tax collector to act on behalf of municipality, which is section F. And it states that the municipality agrees to appoint and maintain one of its employees as a deputy tax collector to act on behalf of the municipality with regard to ad valorem property tax matters and to present certain tax-related matters to the municipality's governing board. So, this would actually, you do have to have the education that's required for a deputy tax collector as set forth by the state. Have looked into that, and, a lot of the training I already have because it's courses that fall under either the town clerk position that I formerly was, and now town clerk, manager. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. But, it also, there are a couple other courses that will have to be taken. One is only offered annually, and, it will be next January. So, in the process, there are other things that can be done in order to gain that within the time frame of a year. The section G, speaks about our remote collection site, and this, wording has been changed because the original wording stated that everyone in the office had to also, have the same training as the deputy tax collector. And it's not feasible, it's not possible because, some of the training that is required takes years to get, or you've already established that training, so therefore, you would want to, it would just be impossible for our staff to be able to do that within a time frame. And especially for the fact that they're only continuing it for 1 year. So they did reword that to state that for several decades, the county has permitted an operation of a remote collection office operated by the municipality for the purpose of allowing residents of the municipality and surrounding areas to pay all ad valorem property taxes at such remote office hereinafter the remote collection site. The first year of this agreement, the county shall continue to permit the operation of the remote collection site by municipality, and for the avoidance of doubt, as of July 1st, 2027, the remote collection site shall no longer be permitted to operate. So they did change the wording that it does not have to fall, all the employees do not have to fall under licensing of the deputy tax collector. Any questions, that you guys have that myself or
I
Ms.
assume
Mary
that,
will answer?
I assume that all areas of Davidson County are also having to pay this fee,
Yes.
right?
They're already paying it.
They're already paying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we pay it even if we collect it here? Do we still have to pay it to the
Yes.
county?
Because it's really a processing. Like the county processes all the taxes and they take care of, the filing for everything. And we've never paid that because of the agreement that we had a remote site here. And so therefore it was kind of a wash. But we will pay this year and then all the years forward.
Why does it say here that it could be valid for 3 years from 2026 to 2029?
That is for the actual, current costs that they're projecting. They are looking at a 3-year projection of, the percentage increases over a 3-year period. I don't think that's actually outlined with the actual cost, but, at the 3rd year is when they project to have that percentage at whatever the current rate is. They don't wanna do a complete increase at one time for the municipalities, but over that 3-year period, they would share the cost. I believe it's at 1.25.
Under 12B.
Okay.
That doesn't completely make sense, because that's a percentage-based fees, and they're saying it increases to offset inflation, but if it's percentage-based, it does that anyway. So that fee doesn't really make sense in the wording. If it was a flat fee, the inflation increase would make sense, but since it's a percentage fee, it doesn't.
I guess they can change the percentage.
Right.
So I think what Casey had said when he presented here with David Rickard a couple of months ago was that these fees are still lower than most surrounding counties are charging. So they were locking it in for 3 years, and then my understanding from that was they did anticipate potentially increasing it. That's what I understood.
I believe at the end of the 3 years, you will have another contract in front of you. Because what this is stating is basically that between now, those 3 years, your first year is gonna be, 1.25. Says 1.25 general fee equals to a second year of increase to 1.375. And then your 3rd year will be 1.5. So they're outlining what your increases are gonna be. So if it's the wording, we can definitely ask them to look at the wording of that. But they are giving you that for the next 3 years. The first year will be 1.25, the second will be 1.375, and the 3rd year will be 1.5. And that's the percentage of our applicable taxes. Do you want me to ask for clarification or for it to be restated?
Yes, because it doesn't make sense from the inflation standpoint that they mentioned in the first sentence.
Okay, is that the first sentence of section B?
Section B.
Okay. To offset the inflation increasing cost over the years, but.
Yes, because if it was a flat fee, it makes sense, but with it being a percentage based, that corrects itself with inflation anyway, because price will go up, same percentage, they get more money anyway.
And with the growth of the county.
And with growth county. So I think that we could argue that we could get that 1.25 for the 3 years, since it accounts for inflation anyway.
will send this back to county for clarification and, get this back to you guys at the
Anything else you don't like about it?
May
I have a
meeting.
question.
I don't like
And
to
it may
take
have always
it
been
away.
this, may have always been this way, but, I noticed that it said is anything that was paid late, that the county gets all of the late fees and all that. Is that how it's always been?
No.
We receive, again, we've not had a formal agreement, but we do receive funding for like late filing. But, when it comes to the interest that is applied to the ad valorem, I don't believe we received that. I'm gonna look at Eddie for clarification on. I know.
We should share in the late fees, same as the county does, I would think, it's our money.
I believe late fees do, but not the interest. Like, once it goes past January the 6th, then interest is, added to anything that's past due. The interest, I believe, the interest portion goes straight to the county.
I'm curious to know how it has been in the past. Because they assess advertising costs if they actually have to advertise and go after it. So I understand them keeping that because they're the ones that
It's a
incur
charge.
the cost.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's just straight interest on the tax collected money,
Should be spent.
our portion is ours.
Right. So any clarification?
That's not
on
the
that?
way that reads.
What section is that?
It's 13A. The last sentence is the summary of it.
See, at the present time, there is no agreement, and there never have been one wrote down.
Right.
It was just a,
Handshake.
Yep.
Well, it says,
And the municipalities.
for the avoidance of doubt, the general fee shall apply to collection of all interest receipts and be payable to. So your fee is on the straight amount they're collecting plus the interest. I don't read that to say that the interest is theirs.
When it said payable to and retained by.
It says the general fee shall apply and shall be payable to or retained by. So in other words, if I owe $100 in taxes, they're gonna collect a fee off of that, but if I don't pay them and there's a late fee of whatever it is, and they get $5 in interest, then their fee is based on $105, not $100.
So their fee meaning the 1.25%.
Correct. That's how I read that. Let's make sure they interpret that the same way.
Okay.
The Machinery Act of the county.
that's taxes on machinery, I'm assuming.
All right, I will, is there any other section that you guys want clarification?
No, the Machinery Act is if there's, like penalty for return of bank check for insufficient funds
Oh.
or penalty for late listing. That's the Machinery Act.
The Levi.
Anything else y'all have questions about? Like the July 27th date?
Like the 27th day.
Would you like to?
The July 2027.
Yeah.
I would like to, I'd like to see it.
Would you like to extend that?
Yes.
While we negotiate with county?
I'd like to see it, cause I think, how much does Denton take in on taxes alone?
$1 million. You know what y'all been collecting?
I've not looked at the figures lately, but it is significant. As far as, I don't know the dollar amount, but I know, was it 1,400 payments that we processed last year, which, that's 1,400 more people that will have to go into the Lexington office.
Why do they need to take it?
We're the only one that does it.
I get it,
Yeah,
but why? But that's us collecting a lot.
And evidently they're making some money off of it too, because
From what I understand, it is that the remote site should have never existed without a county employee who is licensed through their deputy, as a deputy, tax collector or as the tax collector himself. It is the fact that it should not have existed without that person being here to collect the taxes. So for us as a municipal employee, the statute does not allow for that.
Is
Now,
it possible to have a county employee down here?
Well, that's the reason we got it to begin with. When the county office was here, and Peggy collected the county taxes, and Odessa collected the town taxes at town hall. So when the county left, we hired Peggy, Odessa quit, and then we started collecting the county taxes.
Can we get somebody down here?
Many moons ago.
but then we switched to
No, I
the
don't
county
think so.
processing all the taxes, correct? So there was a couple of things that did take place in there. The town used to bill our own taxes and,
Which would be more expensive than
yes.
paying.
By far, yeah.
But we've never had any problems, we've never had,
Well, we've not had any problems, we've had some changes over the years, that have, you know, probably been good changes, they've changed the software through the county, it's a county-owned computer, it's through county IT, so if there's any problems with that, they take care of all of that. Our staff is trained to take the payments and process them, we do not answer questions regarding property taxes. We direct everyone to the county, because that is not part of our job.
I'd like to see it extended longer. I'd like to make a motion to extend it further into, another, or 2 years total.
Okay, Commissioner, I'm not sure, and I will defer to the attorney. Can we make a motion to extend it, because it's not our job, it's not our,
We can make a motion to extend it on our side, that's what we're asking for in the contract.
We can
It's
ask for
not
that in
binding, so-
negotiations, but
Right.
it's up to them whether or not they'll approve that.
Right.
And maybe with, the changing of the board this fall, maybe, we might can get some help. Davidson County,
so does that need to be in the form of that motion?
what I think.
And we'd like to have a,
I think that's a
Consideration.
contract negotiation.
okay,
Yeah, that's not a motion.
can
That's
you,
just going back.
can you withdraw your motion
For what?
for what you
It
just
doesn't
said?
have to be in the motion.
Yeah, that's just
It's
a
a
contract
negotiation of the contract.
Okay.
So
So now I wanna extend,
You want to negotiate the contract,
yeah, I
and
wanna
that was one, that
negotiate,
is one of the items of negotiation you want to negotiate.
yeah,
Correct.
that part there needs to be negotiated about.
Okay.
For an extension, maybe.
I will email the county manager and I'll CC you and the county attorney.
Thank you. I will say that it's my understanding they were trying to get all of the contracts uniform with all of the other areas. So that could dampen the negotiation power, but certainly we'll look at that.
And copy me and the attorney on that.
Did we have a second on that? I apologize.
Well, we didn't have a motion, we just went back.
Well, I think she's restated as a
But we-
motion to negotiate contract for the remote location. So we have an open motion.
We never had a
I
second.
think she just.
Withdraw.
Aren't we
Yeah.
negotiating more than that? So can we just make a
Well-
motion to table it until we negotiate?
Yes.
I make a motion to table this until we negotiate the contract.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. 15A, approving resolution 252611A municipal accounting service cybersecurity and technical assistant memorandum of agreement.
It's a huge statement there for the resolution, but this did come straight from the League of Municipalities as far as, anyone who has participated in this service, excuse me. They have the option of several different things. They have the option of having accounting services, cybersecurity, and technical assistance. So there's 3 different things that fall under this agreement. We are seeking assistance for this cybersecurity. It is a free service to the town being provided by the North Carolina municipalities. It is paid for by grants from both federal and state. And in looking at the information US Treasury is part of for the accounting service. If you look down through, let's see, on the second page, it outlines that this municipality would, whereas this municipal accounting system, cybersecurity, and technical assistance memorandum of agreement will offer local municipalities services rendered by the league, meaning North Carolina League of Municipalities, including but not limited to the capital expenditures for special purpose software, computer equipment as set forth in 2 FR 200.439, and services rendered by one or more service providers, which is a contract service retained by the league on behalf of the municipality, whose members are of a particular profession or possess a special skill as set forth in the agreement. And then the equipment also, including information and technology support systems and including computer devices. So in speaking with the representatives, what they will do is come in and do a whole sweep of our security through our cybersecurity. They will work with us to see what areas of concern there may be, and they will also work with us if there is any major upgrades that need to be done or grants available that they can help us apply for, have the funding to make those necessary upgrades. In order to go forward with this, we have to adopt the resolution to go into the services with the league, and then we also have to approve the memorandum of agreement. I believe that's how it's written. Memorandum of agreement for these services.
What kind of timeline is there if we agree to this?
They are ready to get started whenever we approve this. It is one of those 12/31 deadlines, so the sooner we can get this approved into them, the quicker they can get started on this. And I know we've been talking about cybersecurity. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about, moving everything over to our Microsoft 365, which will help increase our cybersecurity for all departments. So part of us have that program already established. The other thing that we've talked about is our equipment updates. So with going through the cybersecurity, they're going to help us with making sure that we're going on the right path. I probably will say that one of the first things that they're going to say is that we do need to move forward with the Microsoft 360 or looking at another system that's comparable to that. There's one offered through Google, but most of us use the Microsoft platform, so it is a lot easier to maneuver. But there are, they do hire the professionals, they do bring everyone in, and they give you a full report as to what's going on with the system, recommendations, and again, they do help us apply for money to fix whatever they may discover. Any questions that you guys have on that?
Since we really haven't had time to read it, I'm just skimming it, but I noticed on, I don't know what, page 5, it says, all league expenditures under this agreement must be obligated on or before December 31st, 2024, and expended on or before December 31st, 2026. So, we're way past 2024.
So, if it were not available, I don't think they would send it to us. I believe that the funding they've allocated that they are requesting the funding from the state in order to provide the service for municipalities. But they have to expend all of that before this December. So, yeah.
So do you know of any municipalities that has done this?
I've not, but the league is highly reputable, and so I have full confidence that they would provide the services that we need, and it's at no cost to us.
Have you seen this?
I haven't reviewed the contract in full, but I'm very familiar with the program, and I think it's an excellent program.
Okay, I just didn't get it till today, I didn't know.
Right, and I can review the contract just to make sure everything's fine, but yes, what you're talking about, so under this program where these grants were provided, they had to get all of the funds for the grants by December 31st, 2024 is my understanding. And kinda like we have to spend the ARPA money by a certain point, they have to spend the money under theirs by that certain point.
So they still have money available, or they.
Correct.
I would think that we, be a good idea, let's
Yeah.
know, like,
Because there's other things we were thinking about doing, were, about protecting.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Further discussion? ASAP.
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. And the ayes have it, motion carried. Okay, so if we did 15A, 15B is a moot thing, so we'll pull that from the agenda.
And for clarification, I had not seen the contract until just now, but Angel had talked to me about this, and I asked her to expedite it and get it on tonight, so that's why that was on tonight without you guys having any other notice of it.
Department heads, Chief James.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. I was really excited when I saw Harley Davidson was here. I thought we were getting motorcycle.
I'll bring him next time.
I couldn't help but think when the mayor was going through things quickly, I thought, you know, he should have been an auctioneer. And then it dawned on me, he is. Other thing in another life, I ran for office, and one of the nicest people I met running for office was Mr. Schuler. I don't know if he remembers that, but he invited me into his office, and we visited a long time, and he was caring for his mother at that time, and I remember that well. And I've been inside Officer Chief's apartment that he rents, and it's very nice, so I'm glad to have him here. I have made several calls to the DOT and finally got them to straighten out our work zone, or our speed zone on Highway 109. If you'll notice, there's now a 55-mile-an-hour sign when you come into Denton, as there should have been probably long ago. Maybe there was one years ago and something happened to it, I don't know, but that's been corrected. They've erected another 35-mile-an-hour speed zone in front of O'Reilly's. So now I think we can legally enforce the speed law there, so I appreciate the DOT's help there.
So there's no transition to 45?
Yes, there is. It's when you enter a municipal limits, it says 35 unless otherwise posted. You went on south and it said reduce speed to 45, but there was not a 55 sign erected, which was problematic. So Mr. Sink came out, researched it with our DOT ordinances, and agreed it needed correcting. And it was confusing that there wasn't another 35-mile-an-hour sign, so they did put one there at O'Reilly's, which I think will help us as we enforce the speed law. So thanks to them for doing that. We're still looking to hire an officer for our 7th position. I have provided salaries of allied agencies to our manager, as we are lagging behind. We're behind Davidson County, Stanley, and Rowan counties with county and municipal agencies and some similar size to ours. So that is concerning to me. Hopefully, we will be able to get that position filled. We're working on recalls. You know, you buy a new vehicle, you got an old vehicle, it seems like there's recalls all the time. One of our Explorers is at Asheboro Ford now. We took it in for a recall, some type of tow link in the vehicle, and they get you in for a recall, but they don't have the parts. So then they order the parts. So hopefully the parts will get there soon. We get that one fixed and then get the other Explorer to them to get it fixed as well. We continue to trap a lot of cats as citizens complain and transport those to the animal shelter. We've done that quite frequently lately. I guess with spring, they're moving around. We do continue to do community visits and welfare checks on citizens. I haven't heard from Mr. Potts on what he's gonna do with the, town property that you approved him to lease. If he decided to, at some point, I need to do a record inspection, on them, just like we did the Got Your Tips company that bought the old car dealership. So I'm still waiting to hear from him so that we can be treating all of our towing companies exactly the same, and to make sure that he does have the liability policy that is required. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have about police operations or anything whatsoever.
Any questions, Chief James? Thank you, Chief.
And I won't ask for a motorcycle in the budget.
Chief,
You're not gonna get one anyway.
Chief, I have one question. I know we were having email issues at one point. Did you ever get that stuff I sent you?
No, I
Okay, I'm
never
gonna
did.
resend it.
Okay.
Because I know we were having email issues.
Okay,
and
yeah,
I'll
my
resend it.
email gets full, and I've got some more memory now, and it seems to be doing better, but I lost a lot of, or never got email,
I sent it like
so.
3 times. So I'll
Okay,
resend it, and
never
I'll
got
copy
it,
Angel
so.
to make sure you get it.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Fire Chief Morris, he's in Disney World.
Oh, darn.
So, you have his report as written? Have any questions? Mr. Branch?
Good evening. We had a land application event on March 5th, no problems there. We did receive a load of caustic on the 23rd. Everything went well. We have conducted our EPA annual water pollution study. I did that earlier this year, earlier than I normally do. We have not received the results yet. We did complete repairs on clarifier number 4, and it's been placed online, which you may have noticed during your visit. The annual wastewater report was in the newspaper on February 18th, and we have received a meets criteria for the local water supply plan from the state, so that's always good news. And our regular work and maintenance, we're spending a lot of time at the pump stations this week.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
it.
Troy. Thanks, Troy.
Yes, sir.
Jason?
Good evening. Working on a lot of research to get things, projects, getting going there. One of the bigger ones, done a lot of research on sludge disposal methods. First, I think that the drying beds are one of the most cost-effective, easier routes to go. We're still looking into the other ones. We're trying to zone in on the best option for that. We've had lots of multiple vendors come through for different walkthroughs, especially when you've seen the issues in the chemical feed room due to flooring, getting all that resurfaced in there and kind of even and getting all the resurfaces done to make it look better and just kind of be safer in that one chemical feed room especially. We've had different flooring companies come out, some industrial, some not industrial, and some of it's beyond what they're able to do. So far, we've only been able to find 2 companies that will be able to do any kind of work, especially in that chemical feed room area where that chemical is eating out some of the floor. We've had David Truitt attended the Sea Surface School. He's doing very well. I feel fairly confident that he'll pass his test coming up. I believe it's going to be in May. I believe his test is going to be in May. Outside of that, we're getting ready for inspection coming up in June. We just recently hit we actually just found out this test we had, our settled water turbidity was less than 0.1, which is extremely great for a water plant like ours. So the water quality, that's before it goes in the filters, it's clear going in, so we're performing very, very efficiently. So, any questions?
Question for Jason?
Enjoyed the tour.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
And Troy too, I meant to say that's Troy.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Mr. High's not here, you got anything again? Thank you, other than his report?
Okay. No, just regular report, fixing the water leaks, and I know that time Thursday, Friday, and today has been spent with, Troy on the Spring Street pump station, trying to get that back in the running. So, any questions you guys have for Michael that I can pass along?
I'm glad we got some rain at the cemetery on that
I
new
know.
grass.
We need it so desperately. So they did do a lot of work at the cemetery. You guys, were not in attendance. Should do the, sunrise service there, I meant to ask, but, no, not this year. There has been a lot of work on the Salisbury side of the cemetery. Lots of just washout and no grass in areas, so went through and, leveled out, replanted grass. Hopefully, if we get some rain, it'll help.
Ms. Hedrick.
Customers billed, was 1,100, paper and email bills for the March usage. Total gallons billed was 3,618,609, which billed out at 104,202.91. Gallons, billed for 4 final accounts was, 2,343, which billed out at $255.58. Total gallons unbilled, which are town-owned property, is 824,284 gallons. Handy gallons used for March was 25,377,700, billed out at $54,760, and that was at the new rate. I would also like to share that I saw a lot of happy people as we did the ribbon cutting for Haley Gray, so I appreciate Mayor Morris and those that were in attendance for that, because I think that is very inspiring to a young lady that has a lot of potential and is doing a lot of good even within our own community. And I've also attached the daily readings for Handy Sanitary for the month of March.
Oh, are you getting many on the banner program?
I do have 3.
Okay.
So that is a good start. So I'm very pleased with that.
Any questions, Paula?
And
Yes.
we will be pushing out the legacy program. I've been waiting on pricing for that, for the tables and benches and so forth. So that is forthcoming.
And we're gonna push, I guess, 4th of July Antique Festival and the Summer Concert Series.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Since the Antique Festival's free, we wanna fill up the town. Miss Attorney General.
Not the Attorney General, but I'll just say my, last month has just been spent, with Handy. That we were trying to, work on a way to make sure that these easements and road closures get through very smoothly without having any issues as being able to understand exactly what we intend to do. So I think we've finalized all that and worked all that out, so I think that's fine. And so hopefully we'll get Handy all worked out too.
Yeah, I have confidence. Any question for Misty? Miss Angel.
I give you guys a full report. I'm just gonna hit some highlights here and answer any questions you may have.
Do you have it?
I thought we did. My
I
apologies.
don't think it's in my file.
Did you have the one that was about?
Surely just.
Are you ready? Okay. Just to kind of go over some things that happened this month. Of course, we've had ribbon cuttings throughout the town, the Chill Factory, the Bread Box, MA Pickets, and Haley's Hope, which is a free lending library that's located at our local resource center over on South Main Street. So we do thank all the businesses that have expanded and also have located into our community, and thank the board for participating in that. I think it shows that you are concerned for their growth and appreciate them being here as well. There were 2 public hearings that were held for the Planning and Zoning Board that we discussed earlier this evening. And then we did site visits April 1st throughout the town, visited the wastewater treatment plant, the water treatment plant, Public Works, Police and Fire Department. And the department has provided you tours, operational overviews, and discuss what their future needs are with budget planning coming up. It was nice to be able, when they're talking about something, that you can put that with the numbers. I'd like to thank all the department heads for their preparation and for presenting a clear professional overview of their departments. I think that was very, very good presentation from everyone. So I'd like to thank them for that. I did receive a call from Josh Tussey, from Davidson County Planning. He is the floodplain permitting permittor, maybe, but notified the town that there is an updated flood map that is available for North Carolina. And this year we do have some locations that are on this flood map. So we'll be working with them to try to find out the best way to contact the individuals who own those properties and let them know what needs to be taken care of on their side from going forward.
Can that be accessed by anybody?
I'm sure it is, and I will get that from Mr. Tussey, and we'll link it to our website.
They used to send us a map, we used to have one. The last time we ever got one, we had one here.
So it is available through, like Davidson County GIS when you go and look at properties, but as far as having the actual plan itself, we'll see if we can get all that detail. So it's available for anybody who wants that. Thank you for asking. We have done insurance reviews this last 2 weeks. We've met with Jim with Mountcastle, who's our insurance agent for liability, and also our vehicle. He handles all of our vehicles as well. And met with him just to kind of make sure if there's anything that we need to update or increase coverage on. He'll be giving us proposals for the cost for the coming year. Also met with Randy Beasley. He is our health insurance representative. Staff received letters in the mail that our current coverage is no longer going to be provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield. However, Blue Cross failed to let us know that. So the problem is we have been under a grandfathered plan since the AFA, what is it, American? Affordable Care Act. That's it.
Obamacare.
All these Obamacare. I should have just said that instead of trying to use the letters. But we have still been under a grandfathered plan. And so Blue Cross and Blue Shield are no longer going to honor those grandfathered plans. And there are options. We will either go into the Affordable Care Act, or in speaking with Mr. Beasley today, there is another option that they're hoping that we'll qualify for. One of the bonuses is that we are under 50 employees, so we may be able to qualify under some of those policies. They do offer, it is offered through Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, and Cigna. United Healthcare would not be one of those options. The pricing will drop at mid-May for our renewal in July, so we're still kind of out there a little ways before we know what our pricing will be. But he did say that whatever we do, our renewal right now is July 1st, but with any company that we go with, they're going with a calendar year renewal, so the prices will only be for July to December. And then we'll look at the increase or decrease for the next year, which will be January through December. It is not the best setup for us to plan for budget, but we don't have any other options. So just wanted you guys to be aware of that. And speaking with Chris Coyer and Haynes Paving, they are they do have us on schedule for the first week in May to get the paving completed. We do not have any projections from the NCDOT for the contract that they have out for the AST. There is a statewide burn ban for all 100 counties. It seems odd to have on the manager report, but I'd just like to pass that along to everyone and state that out loud. Did see some burning at places over the weekend. not in town, but it did give me concern because it is very dry. We did receive rain yesterday, but it was not enough to combat that. And Mayor Morris, I know with you serving on the fire department, I'm not sure if you guys have had any issues with burning outside of that.
Small, nothing big.
Okay. The mayor and I did attend the mayor manager's breakfast, and of course, the subject of conversation for a lot was the property tax reevaluations that were provided throughout the county. The rest is just kind of updates on the CWIT support. I had a meeting with him, and it's basically was focusing on AI readiness. There was a lot of information that he provided. Had not really thought about with AI. You know, most people know ChatGPT, but there's a lot of information that could be beneficial to the town. That'll be a future look for software that maybe we could utilize. This is how I found out about the North Carolina League of Municipalities offering the cybersecurity and put us in touch with the right people. I did speak with a representative from First Bank Merchant Services. They are looking into our credit card and debit card processing to see if we can save some money on those, the cost of that process. And I'll have information forwarded to you on that. There has been a lot of rezoning questions, meetings, conversations, phone calls about a lot of properties in town, so there may be more rezoning hearings coming to us in the next few months. Handy Sanitary District quarterly meeting was held on March the 24th. Our representatives are Mayor Morris and Mayor Pro Tem Grubb, and our town attorney, Misty Whitman, and I were in attendance. Some of the discussions were along the long-term needs of the water plant, emergency interconnection options, cost of water calculations, the contract clarifications, and then the review of the October 2025 invoice that was for September usage that had to do with the lake turnover event. I did speak with our auditor, Mr. Carrick, who provided some clarification on the cost of water calculations, and we'll review more information in closed session. Our engineering projects, Mayor Morris and I met with Wooten via Teams and discussed the AIA grant projects. And then we also did a conference call with Heather Miller for Lavella to discuss that. I did have a full report from Heather, kind of feeding off of last month's report from March 2nd. The words in red are an update, and then the 4.6 update continues at the bottom of page 2 to page 3. And then the change order request that she has provided from the state utilities is in contrast to us either abandoning those 2-inch water lines on West First Street or having a contractor do that. I would like for Michael to be able to review this, as I just received this afternoon, so there's no motion or anything needed today, but I will give you updates on that as soon as he has a chance to look at that. We did hold our monthly department head meetings, getting back on track with that last Thursday. And then the Spring Street pump station, we are having issues with that. Staff has been working to replace the pump. Pump went out, pump we had was not working, so we have a new pump that's being installed, and hopefully everything will be up and working. Ace was in town today doing site visits for some of the places that are under code or nuisance violations, and there are several that have come to our attention for ETJ, and the only thing that we have the power to enforce in ETJ is our zoning, so not nuisance abatement. So I've reached out to the county and provided them with a couple of places that have been brought to our attention either by staff or by someone in the public. Any questions that you guys have?
I see where the manufacturer's targeting the end of May for delivery of bar springs, but we really don't even know, that's just the target, we don't know if they'll be here by then or not for sure.
No, that's just our target.
Angel, on the insurance, you got a broker, they farmed out the,
They do.
okay.
Yes, they do.
And on this, you
Again,
know, was it not in the contract that was supposed to take care of that?
it was in the contract, they were supposed to take care of that, that's what concerns me with them now sending a change of contract. You know, they basically have walked away from the abandonment of those 2-inch lines because they did not wanna do it under pressure. We don't have a valve that turns the water off in that area, and Michael had presented several different options that we've used ourselves. And then there's also the option of freezing the line. They were not comfortable with that being it's under pressure, so to have a quote coming back from them to take care of that, is questionable. So we will, explore that more.
You might have to get in this.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at the original contract.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, we just received this afternoon, so we will review it more.
It says they
Just
cannot
let
be
you know.
located, they can't found them.
The 2-inch lines have,
It says or cannot be located, or cannot be located, I just wondered.
I think it's more the fact that, like I said, they did not want to go in and do the work to close those lines off under pressure. So we did have that leak while they were replacing lines that, was at the intersection of School Street and First Street, and our staff actually had to go in and close that area off. Because it is under pressure and they did not have the equipment to do so.
On which one now, on,
The one right in front of your house.
so that, is that what's leaking now, down the
No.
driveway? Or is it
No.
mom and dad?
Any questions for Angel? Commissioners' comments or concerns? Mr. Bean? Mr. Ward? Mayor Pro Tem Grubb? Mr. Hogan? Mr. Hicks? Okay. If not, we'll go in closed session. Attorney-client privilege. Mr. Garrett, if you would please stay with us, we'd appreciate it. You may not appreciate it, but we do.